Switching to motorsports, Red Bull Racing's Mark Webber gave the thumbs up after reviewing the proposed F1 night circuit during his visit to Singapore last Saturday. The 31-year-old Australian was in town en route to the Sepang Grand Prix coming up this weekend in Malaysia. Webber had earlier cruised around the proposed route 3 times before settling down with the media later at 1 Fullerton. He told 938 Live sports journalist Jonathan Sham that the drivers on the circuit were high in expectations if F1 comes to the Republic.
The exciting new project they're trying to do here in Singapore. Obviously it's pretty early days, but Red Bull from Austria asked me to come to this event and have a look around the new facilities. I think that the work that they have done to get to this stage, obviously working with the big man in Bernie Ecclestone to try and get the event to take place here is incredibly exciting. All the drivers are definitely very, very keen to race on a new street circuit, which is definitely going to be the case here in Singapore because having driven around the circuit, it's going to be absolutely a street circuit in terms of the layout. Very, very challenging. A mixture of tight and twisty section with a little bit of a faster section to starting the lap across the start-finish line. And also they're talking about the night concept, which again is very new and pioneering and something which hasn't been done before in Formula One. It requires a lot of research and development into actually understanding how that could take place in terms of the amount of lighting required to make the event safe for the drivers, for marshals and people taking part, photographers, everyone. It's a huge, huge event, so it's not just a 2-hour event which you turn the lights on and we go home again.
Now Mark, what happens if it rains in Singapore?
If it rains, the glare of the main lights and of the lights which are artificially lighting the venue is also something which they need to look into because there is other races which take place around the world which have lights on their own vehicles and there's not a huge amount of artificial lighting around. They use the lighting from their own vehicles, but in Formula One obviously we would be using lights to be able to have the correct visibility. So there's a few unanswered questions which need a bit more research. That happens when you have something very exciting and something very new.
Is Singapore the most ideal place to start the next F1 venue on the calendar?
I've been to Singapore once before, 11 years ago when I first went to England. Probably been to the airport about 20 times. Never came into the city, but it's a very clean and beautiful city and I think a real signature event. If we can have a Formula One Grand Prix here, I can see the enthusiasm and the excitement to have an international sporting event, the World Formula One Championship here, and something which looks exciting.
Roughly what will be the lap times around the 4.8 kilometer proposed track?
Well, if it's 4.8k, yeah, in the region of 1 minute 20 to 1 minute, no, probably more, 1 minute 25 to 1 minute 30, depending on how slow, if they put another section in behind the Swiss Hotel.
Comparing Singapore to Monaco's street race, how big would it be?
Well, Monaco is a very prestigious event, as we know. It's been there for 50 odd years and absolutely special in terms of being on the calendar. A lot of big deals done in Monaco. It's a really special event corporately for big businesses to be involved in that event, and everyone wants to go to that type of race. It's the Super Bowl for our calendar, I would say. The other street circuit in Melbourne is again a tremendous feel to that race. It's not really a street circuit, it's around a park, around a lake. It has a great feel to it, a nice atmosphere, but it's different to Monaco. It's a real street circuit. It has a good mixture of both. Obviously, yes, it's a street race, and that's that is exciting on its own, no question about it. But if they manage to pull off this sort of night aspect of it, then that'll be a meltdown for the world in terms of interest, because people will be all over it, because it'll be absolutely spectacular.
The Sepang Grand Prix starts this weekend in Malaysia.